Hello, and welcome to our June Global College Spotlight of 2026. Each month, we bring you a curated look at international education options where students can earn a full undergraduate or graduate degree entirely in English. This year, we are turning our attention to universities across Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, three countries with strong academic traditions and a lot to offer international students. Today's featured university is EBS, University for Business and Law, often simply referred to as EBS. EBS is a private university in Germany with a strong focus on business, leadership, and law. Its business school is located in Österreich-Winkel in the beautiful Rheingau region, right along the Rhine River. The university's historic Schloss campus combines castle architecture and Rhine views with modern learning spaces, creating a very distinctive campus setting. What makes EBS especially interesting for internationally minded students is its strong business focus, practical orientation, and international outlook. As always, today's Global College Spotlight is brought to you by Global College Advisors. And just in case you are new to our Global College Spotlights, my name is Cornelia Betschart-Fortes, and I'm the founder of Global College Advisors. And I'm excited to be your host today. Before we learn more about EBS, University for Business and Law, let me introduce you to our presenter today. I'm very pleased to welcome Harshita Anindya, who is the Student Recruitment Manager at EBS University of Business and Law. Harshita brings a very international perspective to her work. She is originally from Indonesia and grew up in Jakarta. She completed her master's degree in Spain before moving to Germany, where she has now worked in higher education for the past 12 years. At EBS, Harshita is part of the student recruitment team with a special focus on international applicants. She advises prospective students and their families and supports students throughout the application and admissions process, including the admissions interviews. Harshita, thank you so much for joining us today. Let me just unshare my screen and I'll hand the presentation over to you.
Thank you, Cornelia, for the kind introduction. So I will now share my screen. Slides.
Perfect.
Okay, very well. So I will start. Yes. So yeah, my name is Harshita, and today I am happy to introduce you about the EBS University, or in German we say EBS Universität. I will start with the following points. So this is how my my guidelines today presentation. First about the EBS, what makes us special, our programs, how our application process look like, and then a short conclusion. Yeah, so let's start about EBS. So you can see here, this one picture kind of represents the atmosphere around EBS. So we actually have this tower. It's part of our castle, our small castle, and it is still reserved as part of our campus. And that's why we also refer our campus to like the campus castle. Or Campus Schloss, if we say it in German. And where we are located, so basically we are located really in the heart of Germany. We are located in a town called Österreich-Winkel, and Österreich-Winkel is located in the Rheingau region in Germany. It belongs to the Hessen federal state. So the closest big city to where we are would be Frankfurt. I'm sure everybody heard of Frankfurt. Is one of the biggest hub in Germany. And then there's also Wiesbaden and Mainz. There are less big than Frankfurt, but still they are like really good size of cities. So quick facts about the Rheingau region where we are. It is it is a very famous wine region of Germany, so the Rheingau region. So our campus really located nestled between the vineyards and the Rhine River. So we really are there in the nature, in the greenery, and it has this feeling of older architecture like the castle and the modern architecture. And it's also actually a place where even the Germans would spend their vacation because there's a lot of things to discover, the local cultures, local wine, culinary sites like palaces, monasteries, really to get into like the local feeling of that region. So students next to their daily learning activities, they could also do a lot of really exciting outdoor activities like visit like wine festivals, castles, palaces, other types of this how to say older architecture building, monasteries, and there are also hiking trails if you like to do this outdoor activity. It's really nice actually to do sports because when you do sports, you kind of exactly right out there with the nature. And it really makes the Rheingau one of the most interesting regions in Germany. And it's also one of the sunniest, warmest place in Germany. Anyone here who has been to Germany know that Germans really like the sun, they don't really like the winter, they don't really like rain. And in the Rheingau, there's approximately 1,600 hours of sunshine per year. And yeah, it's a really, how to say, it's a really nice, idyllic place for you to concentrate on your study, but still really be able to immerse in the German culture within this region. And yeah, so we shaped the future since 1971. So we were founded in 1971. So we have been existing since, how to say, now it's going 55 years. So we're going to be 55 years old in September. So that means that, yeah, we have already a lot of graduates graduating from EBS. Uh, and yeah, how did it start? So basically, in this picture here, this gentleman, that is Professor Klaus Ewart, he is our founder of EBS. So back then, somehow, when he was in Paris in a shoe factory, he and his friends were having this discussion. And then he had this vision of creating an environment of education in which students not only have to learn things academically and theoretically, but how the students should also being put into the real life challenge of working and running a business. And he also back then could already kind of foresee that the world will become more and more international. Countries will collaborate with each other. Businesses will expand internationally. So he also want to have like this international mindset and perspective embedded to the environment. And along the years, we also apparently figure out that not all of our graduates would want to go on working for a company or working for someone else. Some of them actually prefer to take the risk and start their own ideas, start their own business, build their own company. So along the years, we also have incorporated this entrepreneurial spirit into our student community. So basically, what he visioned for EBS is a community, a society that is international, multilingual, also personally ambitious, professionally capable, and also having this courage in business and leadership as well. And I would say that this vision back then in the 70s is it's kind of a disruptive idea because back then the education system in Germany was still mostly catered by the big public university. They are really highly academic, but kind of not so strong or not providing a lot of like this hands-on practical experience. And sadly, he's no longer with us. But until now, we are still trying to stay true to his visions. Yeah, and this is some pictures as well about our campus. Really, the mix of this old architecture and modern architecture. And we also have just finished the last 2 years, like a lot of renovation in our campus. So there are buildings that we kind of make new, and we built a new cafeteria as well for our students. And so the first floor is cafeteria, the second floor are lecture rooms. We also have renovated so that now all the service points, the service department are all in one place. So if you want to go to see the student secretariat, or you want to see someone from program management, international office, they're all located in the same building. And being in a vineyard in a wine region, we also have our own wine cellar. So you see here, how to say, in the below on the left side, that is our wine cellar. It also has been revamped a little bit, so there's a new modern bar. But it's also like a place where we often also organize events. So basically, the aim of the renovation is to provide, of course, a better infrastructure for the students that could elevate their learning experience, better interactive lecture rooms, of course, with better technical equipment, and providing more working space for students, either for themselves, for self-study, or for doing group work, or even just to meet up, just to hang out with each other. Also, we also have just finished like a new student lounge as well. And also our library, because of the whole renovation, we kind of move our library to a separate building, still within the compound, that we used to be, we use it for events, for big events, but we converted it fully to become a library so that students, more students can sit there, can learn there. And it also has become like a favorite spot for the students, because if you sit there, you could really have a beautiful view of the sunset. So let's say you kind of have to sit there the whole day, you have exams, but having this direct view to the nature, it kind of also soothe you in your maybe stressful exam period. And in the end, we want to keep it green because we are already surrounded by the nature. So of course, we want to embrace that as well. And yeah, I want to quickly introduce our accreditation. If you are looking for studying in a private university in Germany, I would highly recommend you to look exactly on the accreditation. It's very important that you enroll yourself in a private university that is also accredited by the German government. And at EBS, so we have this WR, or the Wissenschaftsrat, or the German Council of Science and Humanities. And then there's also the Akkreditierungsrat, or basically it's also Accreditation Council. Those signify the accreditation that we have from the German government. And then there's also the Recht accreditation that is very relevant for our real estate program. So if you are someone that is like active in the real estate sector, you definitely have heard about RICS. So we have this accreditation as well. And then there's the AACSB, which is a very highly recognized accreditation for business schools. And there's only like 16 business schools in Germany that have this accreditation. So we are really happy that we could get the AACSB accreditation. And so just to give you an idea on how to place EBS, navigate EBS like in the in the international, like outside Germany, I'm presenting you like the rankings that we have based on our programs. So as you see, the Financial Times ranking and the QS rankings, our Master in Finance and Master in Management are being placed there. Also, Wirtschaftswoche, that is like a local ranking here in Germany. We have been consistently placed as top 10 German universities in business administration, business management, and CHE ranking also. We consistently put in the top tier as a business administration and law, and CHE also take a look a lot at the student satisfaction as well. And I know that for everyone, there's a lot of factors to decide which place you want to go, which institution you want to enroll. And ranking is also not the only one. But if you're new to the landscape of education system here in Germany, I think it's important just to show you where we are internationally. So what makes us special? Back to the initial vision of Professor Ewart, he wanted to create a curriculum in which students are also challenged to work as close as possible into the real life situation. So that's why we always say practical relevance is our DNA. So in in our curriculum, of course, students will have to learn all the theory, they have to learn academically, they have to be able to write academic papers. But at the same time, in the curriculum, the professors are partnering with corporate partners. So for example, here you see like names like Deloitte, KPMG, SAP, Porsche, BMW. These really are like big companies also in Germany. And our students in the past also have had the experience of working together with them in different formats. So either maybe in business case challenge or doing presentation in front of the company representative or doing excursions. So for us, it's really important that they have like the insight how it is actually uh, implementing what they've learned in the real life situation. And these names are really big names, like multinational companies. They're present everywhere in the world. But during our curriculum, students also would encounter even smaller companies like startups, super important as well, because there are a lot of EBS students that are really into entrepreneurship. And as well the mid-sized company, so the medium-sized company. And Cornelia, I'm sure you also know that the how to say the medium-sized companies are really the backbone of German economy. So they
That's
will
correct.
get this different perspective, like from the startup, mid-size until like the big international company. Yeah, and another vision of Professor Ewald is this international perspective. So in all of our bachelor program, there will be like one mandatory semester abroad. So it doesn't matter if you're studying business management or the law studies. So this is also, I think, what students are really looking forward to. And so we have three bachelor programs. Two of them are fully in English, and one, the law studies, is in German. So for the law students, their program is in German because they're studying German law, but the semester abroad is that one semester in which they also have to do everything in English. And overall, we have around 200 partner universities worldwide, all continent and region represented, cater to our bachelor and master students as well. And at EBS, there's always like this places that kind of the favorite of the EBS students. So it's a bit harder to be able to secure your semester abroad place in certain places. But in EBS, we have established a system in which hopefully that it could really deliver sense of fairness for everyone, because then your GPA would count, your extracurricular activities will be counted as well. And that kind of, how to say, navigate your chance into landing your semester abroad in your first or second choice of partner university. And yeah, and not only that, but there's also a good number of international students in campus. So you can get around the campus just by speaking English easily. And sometimes we also have guest lectures because our professors, they also have wide networks internationally. And yeah, a lot of time there will be guest lectures that are coming from outside Germany. So of course, the lectures will be delivered in English as well. Yeah, and we empower leaders to make difference in the world. So for us, leadership is also important. So we want our students and our graduates to also use their time while they are at EBS to also like reflect and try to also use the time to work on their soft skills. And one of these soft skills are, of course, the leadership, because at some point, if you are aiming high for your career, it could be that you would find yourself later, you will have to lead other people, you have to lead a team. And we also already have examples. So like how to say the people to look up to in this sense, which is our own alumni. We have been around since 1971. So like I said, we have a lot of graduates already, either those who graduated 20 years ago and those that just graduated 2 years ago. In total, I think worldwide, we have around 10,000 alumni, and approximately 4,000 of them are registered under the EBS Alumni Association. And the EBS Alumni Association, we are still very much in contact with them. At EBS, we always say that once you are an EPSLA, you're always an EPSLA. So the identity of once you are part of EBS kind of stays with you, even if you have graduated 20 years ago. And our EBS Alumni Association is also still present. If we do our big open days, they are also still there representing the Alumni Association and also share their experience. And so far, 16 of our alumni has been ignited into the Forbes 30 under 30. So I'm sure that everybody know here the Forbes magazine, and they have this list, and one of it is the 30 under 30. And these are really people that have really taken risk in their in their venture, and also have shown this leadership quality in trying to make their own business ideas happen. And for example, here we have an alumni, for example, for Deloitte, Hugo Boss, really well-known companies. So Virginie Briand, she has been working before in her own agency, which she ran successfully for around 13 years. And then she changed into a creative consulting partner at Deloitte. And Yves Müller at Hugo Boss, he is actually now the CFO of Hugo Boss. And the younger alumni here, Dennis Schmolzi. So if you are in Germany, maybe you have heard about Emma, the sleeping company, the Emma Matratzen. They have stores in big cities in Germany, also very much presence online. And he is one of the co-founder of the Emma Sleeping Company. And then we also here have Marco Filisch. He actually started his startup when he was still a student at EBS. So he started with Buckle Theme, and now he's on Pathway Solutions. And Dr. Benedict Poir, he's actually our law graduate. So initially the path is to practice law, but in the end he decided to start his own company called Right Now. And it's to help you in acquiring legal claims arising from flight cancellations. And these are some more of the names that I have made the list of Forbes 30 under 30. So I'm not going to go through each one of them, but if you want, you can go to our website, and there's like a dedicated page for all of our alumni that have made the list of Forbes. And so EBS, our size is quite small. I would say we are more like a boutique university. If you would compare it to the big public university, we really are a small community. So we have around 2,000 students in campus already for all programs, bachelor's and master's all together. But because of that, we could keep the class size small. And I think this is also one of the reasons why students decide to study at EBS, because they feel like it gives them a better learning experience in terms of discussion with the professors, of getting to know the professors really well when they are in small size class. So basically, if you have like all of this mandatory modules that everyone has to take in the beginning, maybe it will be a bit bigger. The size could be maybe 40, 50 students. But once you go higher semester and you go into your specialization, the classes tend to be like smaller, maybe like 20, 25 students. And the challenge-based learning is basically our practical relevance, our DNA. You will have to learn with a business case. You will have to do presentations. You have your individual work, but you also have to deliver group work. And group work is also always a very worthwhile experience, because that is really relevant even for the coming years of your life. If later you work anywhere, you are most likely have to work in a team. And it's also an experience that would open perspective, because you also have to deal with other people's opinion, working style. But in the end, you have to deliver the work. So it's always interesting to hear stories about group work. And because of all the presentations, EBS alumni are usually very well known for the presentation skills. And regarding the relationship between professor and students, because we have small class size, I've seen it with myself, how professors would really know their students with first names, and they could really establish like really more closer relationship. You can always speak to them. You can, if you have something that you are still not sure, or there are some subjects discussed in class, and you still want to discuss about it outside class, the professors are very approachable with that. And yeah, and especially if the professors are also living around the area in the Rheingau as well, sometimes maybe you would bump into them when you are in supermarket. So yeah, it's this really tight-knit community feeling that we have in campus. And knowledge without value has no value. So what do we mean with that? It's actually this leadership part, the soft skills part that we also integrate into the curriculum of the students. So we have the Career Service Center, and my colleagues there, they're the ones who also organize the EBS Career Day, connection with the companies as well. And they also work together with certified coaches. And the certified coaches, each students can have around 2 to 4 sessions per semester. And it is up to the student what they want to bring about, they want to speak about with the coach. Each person would have different needs. So for example, if you feel like you're international students and you kind of really want to find internship in Germany, you have a lot more to navigate being not from the country. So individual coaching sessions could really help you with that. What do you have to prepare? What do you have to map out? Where to look? How to prepare your CV? How the German employers like your CV to be? Yeah, and how to say the motivation letter and so forth. Or if you feel like you need help more improving your soft skills, maybe stress management. Um, or time management, working under pressure, you can take it up with the coach as well. Even if you feel like you need help more in skill of salary negotiations, you can take it up with the coach as well. I actually even always remind the students, like when you start, don't forget that we offer this because it's there for you to use as a tool, as a help. But I can understand that once you are enrolled, that yeah, you will get so immersed, so busy with your own studying, assignments, and then maybe student clubs or making new friends. So it could be that you kind of forget about this, but try not to forget because it could really be helpful. You would really find it helpful. And yeah, so I already mentioned quickly about the student initiative. So EBS students really are not only sitting in the classroom, they're ambitious beyond the curriculum. Um, so based on the student initiative, they also organize already student conferences or student congress. So for example, the EBS Symposium is the flagship event of the business studies students. And then the EBS Law Congress is the flagship event for the law students. And the EBS Model United Nations is actually open for everyone, but the law, politics, economics students have just organized the first ever Model United Nations conference at EBS campus, and they want it to be their legacy. And of course, there's also the Real Estate Congress because we also have been since years involved in real estate sector, and the entrepreneurship forum that would be like from the entrepreneurship club. And yeah, so clubs at EBS, I usually would structure them into like clubs that has something to do with your studying. So like career club or the fun club. For example, if you are uh, interested in joining a club that would add to what you are studying in class, there would be like maybe finance club or the consulting club. And if you want to do activities that more to your hobby, then we have the sports club, we have the how to say the sports club. Oh, we have the music club, App Sound, for example. There's also the wine club because we are in the wine region. Yeah, and so I just want to show what they do actually in the EBS Symposium as just one of the example of what Congress or symposium look like from the EBS students. It's always once a year. It's always in September. So students are responsible to organize this. Uh, it's a symposium, so it's a conference. You will have guest speakers. You will have table round discussions. So previous speakers have included like CEO of Goldman Sachs in Germany and Austria, CEO of Morgan Stanley, managing partner of BCG, McKinsey Bain Company, and what do exactly the activities consist of in the app symposium. So yeah, it's also a really good opportunity for you to get connected with the companies. You can use either the interviews or the speed dating with the companies. There's also usually sometimes like business case workshops with the companies, career fair. If you are more into someone that would like to test your own business ideas, you can use the startup pitches. And in the end, it will be closed by a very cool after party. So it's 2 days usually. And it's actually open for externals. So if there are students from other universities and they are interested in visiting, they can just buy the ticket and they will have access to the EBS symposium. Okay, and just to give some snippets of the student clubs that I have previously mentioned. So yeah, this is the Apps Invest. So if you are someone who really would like so passionate about finance and you want to get into the finance sector, it would really be like great if you already immerse yourself with more with finance through the student clubs because they already do like case study or workshops together with companies as well as a consulting club, the James Consulting. This is a consulting club of app students. And they also already organize events together with consulting firms. And of course, consulting and finance are really the two favorite sectors that EBS graduate also always trying to get in after their graduation. And yeah, and this is more the hobby club. So the sports club I've mentioned, you can do all types of sports there. I think most sports that I've heard that are like from students are footballs. Of course, we are in Germany. It's the most popular sport. Golf, ski, tennis. Um, I think they have also rowing. And I always tell students if you feel that your art of sport is not yet represented in campus, then try to introduce it. And there's a really good chance you will find someone else that would want to do this type of sports with you. And at the same time, we also have the cheerleading club, and they're quite successful because they always win trophies every year. Yeah, and again, to just to give like an overview of our current student initiative, this is not all, but this is what I can pack in this one slides. So from the symposium, Law Congress, Real Estate, Model United Nations, clubs that you can use to also enhance what you're studying in class. For the law students, there's the legal practice, and also the In Vino Veritas, the wine club that I mentioned. We actually have our own wine. We have the EBS wine. We truly have like a wine, a Riesling wine with EBS logo. And the students in this wine club, they are actually responsible in marketing this wine of EBS. So it's not just about meeting together and drink wine together. Okay, so now I'm going to get into our programs. So for all of our programs, we try to also always present this international focus. For the Bachelor in Business Studies, we have the option of doing dual degree programs. Exchange opportunities are applicable to all programs. And yeah, for Business Studies and Law, Politics, Economics, 100% English speaking course. And for the Law Studies, it will be taught in German. So yeah, so this is the list of our undergraduate programs. Bachelor in Business Studies, which is Bachelor of Science in English, the Law Studies, which is the German Law Studies, LLB in German. So it would lead you to the first state examination as well, to eventually be able to practice law in Germany. And then we also have the Bachelor in Law, Politics, and Economics, Bachelor of Arts that we also offer in English. So so this is the highlights of our business studies program. So this is the flagship program because this is what we start EBS with. It has 6 semesters minimum. You have to finish 6 semesters, but you also have an optional 7th semester if you want to do it. So the 7th semester, usually you can use it to take a second specialization. As you see here, I also presented the selectable specializations, so you can use it for an extra one, the seventh semester, or you can take a second semester abroad if you want to have more international experience. And in the Bachelor in Business Studies, we also offer the dual degree options and the integrated semester abroad. So sometimes I get the question like, what is the difference between semester abroad and a dual degree? So basically, semester abroad, you would go to one of our partner universities and you spend like just one semester there, attending classes there, immersing in the international experience, and then you would come back and continue at EBS. The dual degree options is different because you will have to acquire two degrees, one from EBS and another one from one of our partner universities. So you spend the first 3 semesters at EBS, and then the rest of the 3 semesters, or sometimes even 4, depending on the partner, you will have to do it in the partner universities. For our normal semester abroad, the partner universities list is longer. So we have around 200 partner universities catering to our bachelor students and master students as well. And for the dual degree options, we only have 5 selected partners. And our partners are located in Canada, in Spain, in China, in France, and in Hungary. So you can decide. You don't have to decide firm in the beginning because we always give students in the beginning a chance to really decide if they really want to go for the dual degree track or they prefer to go for the regular track. And then, of course, we have the onboarding project. So I always say that with the business studies, you start with a bang. You don't start in a normal day sitting in a class. You start with a 2 weeks onboarding project. So imagine yourself in a huge auditorium with like maybe 200 other students in your cohort, and you will be presented a project by the professors. And then you will be grouped. So they will put everyone into a group. And then in this 2 weeks, you will have to work together in this group that you're assigned to exactly this project. And the theme is always something that is really up to date. In the past, it has something to do with like a smart city or sustainability. The project is different every year, so that makes it exciting. And there's also sometimes collaboration with companies. And throughout working on the project, you're not going to be left alone. You will be mentored with by the professors, but also from the teaching assistants or from the PhD candidates at EBS. And this 2 weeks is also coupled with a lot of ice-breaking activities. So it's not only about working in the project. By the end of the onboarding, every student will have to every group will have to present their final presentation, and usually there will be award like which group that had the best project, the best presentation. And by the end of the onboarding project, usually you would already know a lot of people because the 2 week is truly designed for that. And yeah, about the specialization. So how we design our program at EBS is that from the first until the fourth semester, so the first 2 years, you will have to first learn all the mandatory modules, all the necessary business acumen that is really relevant in business management. And then you can use this 2 years, 4 semesters to also, of course, reflecting on what you are really passionate about, which part of business management that is really interesting for you. And hopefully with that, you can make the decision for which specializations you want to take starting on the 5th semester. And here we provide specialization in business psychology and coaching, entrepreneurship and innovation, finance and fintech, strategy and consulting, marketing and sales, real estate management, and business analytics and AI. Business analytics and AI is actually the latest edition. It will be available starting from the 2028. But even if you start your program in 2026 now, this specialization would already be available for you later when you are on your 3rd year. So yeah. And this is our German law studies. So that would also include the first state examination. It's a longer program because you have to do 8 semesters. So the 6 semesters is all the law modules. And the last 2 semesters are actually this preparation for the first state exam. So that's why we always say that it's a law program with the first state examination. It also has integrated semester abroad, like I said, that 1 semester in which then students will have to study in English. And the EBS law students, they also actually have really good result in their state examination. So imagine from like the whole cohort of EBS law students that are taking the first examination, 60% of them pass with distinction. And it's actually not easy to pass with distinction, especially if you would compare the result to the state examination of nationwide in Germany. So in the past, we also have alumni that have been like a top law state examination graduate in Hessen federal state. And yeah, you will have to do first state examination. Then also there's how to say like the referendariat for 2 years, and then you take a second state examination. And then afterwards, you can choose either you want to practice law as a lawyer, as a judge, or you want to work for the government, judge, prosecutor, or you want to go more into the corporate sector and become a business legal expert. And we've been offering the law program since 2011. So we have extensive network of like really prestigious big international law firm. They always present in our law congress as well. And we also offer the optional master in business for legal professionals. This is like the master degree that is really dedicated for our law bachelor graduates. And there's a good number of our law LLB graduates that took on the master in business for legal professionals, because once they are finished, they can just concentrate in then building their career because they already have masters. Yeah, and this is our latest edition, our youngest program, Bachelor in Law, Politics, and Economics. We are a business and law university. So we have the business school and the law school. So sometimes there are students that aren't yet sure, do I want to go for business? Do I want to go for law? So in the end, we want to offer them something that has like element of both. So we came up with the law, politics, and economics. The first cohort was in 2023. So that is the first LPE generation. And this year is going to be the fourth generation of LPE cohort. It's 6 semesters. And it connects all of this law, politics, and economics discipline into the curriculum. It also has an onboarding project in which it's I think in the form of practicing model United Nations, and then you also have company excursions as well. It also has an integrated semester abroad. And in the last semester, they have to choose elective or specializations, and we offer the LP of sustainability or LP of digitalization. It's actually a very multidisciplinary program. So it's really exciting. I think if I hear the feedback from the students, they say that learning law, politics, and economics, it really opens your perspective to the world, because it kind of giving you the understanding how this world works and kind of explain why certain event happening that has like a big impact on the whole world. So yeah, and in the end, usually the journey would be that the students would have like their tendencies. Either they, in the end, like more going to the law or to the political science or more into economics. And based on the story, like from what I've heard from a student that is going to graduate, he said that he has like a lot of friends in his cohort that in the beginning are really into law, but in the end, during the study program, found economics to be super exciting and kind of lean more to economics. And what differentiates the law part here with the German law is that the law in LPE is the international comparative law. And a lot of times I get the question about what can I do with an LPE degree? What type of profession that I could pursue? So it's actually opening a lot of doors. You consider to pursue a diplomatic career in government services, like in foreign ministry. You can go work for international organization or NGOs. You can even go to the corporate sector. These days, like big international companies would need talent who are really good in public policy, in public affairs, for example. You can also go more into law and legal services, think tanks and research institutes. And if you want to do a master degree, you can either do a master degree in law or in public policy, in international relations, or in economics or in business management. So it still opens a lot of possibilities for you. And we also have our master degree. I'm going to just show here the degrees that we have, the programs. So we have master in management, finance, real estate, and business analytics. And if you see these masters are also designed based on the specializations that we offer our business studies program in their higher semester. So yeah, just to have like a quick summary before moving to the next slide. These are the DNA of our program. So the challenge-based learning, how we challenge you to really put what you have learned into the reality of the world, working closely with company partners, work in real business challenges, excursions, group work presentations, leadership talks, and team activities as well to grow together and be part of the community. And our curriculum, our content, we always try to give it the most up-to-date one, and professors are really good at that. Also inspiring guest lectures. It could be like from corporate industries, certain sectors, or even politicians have come and gave talk at EBS. And yeah, and passionate professors. The professors are really passionate about what they do. And a lot of them have really good relationship with the students as well. And also, of course, you could be part of this EBS alumni family. And some students also have gave me their testimonials that getting connected with the alumni as well, building that network, have also in the past like helped open doors to new graduates of EBS because of this EBS identity that they share. And yeah, so the EBS is a private university, therefore tuition fees applies. And this is the total tuition fee, total investment for the business studies program and the law, politics, and economics program. So 54,480 euro. It covers the full 3 year of the study program. And I know it's a lot of amount, and we know that our tuition fee is already in the higher end. But based on our report, you also would get your investment back. So, for example, 57,000 euro is the average entry salary for our EBS bachelor graduate. And it's actually quite high if you compare it to the average of entry-level salary for the whole Germany. So for the whole Germany, it ranged between 37,000 to 45,000 per year. So 57,000 is already higher, like much higher than that. And of course, this is the average. If you go into finance sector or consulting sector, the starting salary would be much higher than this. And more than 90% of our graduates found their employment 3 months after the graduation. Some of them could even already secure their position while still finishing their last semesters. And for the law program, because it's 8 semesters, so it's longer, so the tuition fee is also higher. So for the German law or the Jura studium, it costs 64,780 euro. But if you practice law, let's say if you manage to get hired by this big international law firm, the starting salary is actually usually really high. Like the big international law firm, their starting salary could be from 100,000 euro per year, actually. And even medium-sized law firm probably starting from 70,000. So yeah, so even with a law degree, although it is a lot of investment, but you have a really good chance to get your investment back as well once you start working. Yeah. And application process. So how do you join EBS? Our application process is quite direct. It's online, so you have to submit your application through our application portal. And we have rolling admissions process. So we don't, how to say, if you submit your application and it's too late to join the closest intake, then we would process your application for the next possible intake. I also want to reiterate here. So for business studies program, we have a start in January and in August. So the next one will be in August. But if you miss that one due to any reason, then you can still join us in January. For the law degree, it starts every April and in October. The same. If you miss the October one, we can offer you to start in April. But the LPE one, the Law, Politics, Economics, because it's still quite new, it only has one start per year, and that is in August. So if anyone here is interested in LPE, please keep that in mind, because if you miss the August, for example, in 2026, then what we can offer you is August 2027, and it's 1 year difference. So try not to miss the deadline, in the sense of try not to submit your application too last minute with the intake that you intend to start your study. And we need from you your latest version of your CV, the most updated version, and then your high school leaving certificate. If you are still in the phase in which you are writing your final exams and you don't have your final high school certificate yet, then it's okay. You can apply with your school reports, grade reports, of the last 2 years, and we will still going to process your application without waiting for your final high school leaving certificate. And if everything checks out, our admissions team will invite you to take the online assessment test, which is the personality and the knowledge test. And then after that, we will invite you to attend an individual selection interview. We do the interview also online with Zoom. I usually would also do interviews. So in my capacity as student recruitment manager, I do the admissions interview based on the program that I'm responsible for. And because now I'm responsible for business studies program and the law, politics, economics program for international applications. So those would be like the candidates that I would be interviewing. And if you pass all of these steps successfully, that means that we would be allowed to offer you a study place. So then we will send you the study contract. And in the study contract, we will also communicate with you transparently, like the deadlines for you to sign the contract, to decide if you want to join EBS or not. And of course, during this time, until the deadline comes, if you still have any doubts, any questions, you can always reach back to us, to me, or to my other colleagues that is your contact person at EBS. So yeah, so it's not complicated, and I always advise everyone to try to apply as soon as possible, because you also need to give yourself time to organize all the logistics, especially if it requires moving closer to campus. And yeah, to be more detailed in the type of the document, so yeah, the CV, and then the high school certificate or the grade reports. And if English is not your mother tongue, we might also going to ask you to submit one of these English language certificate. But our admissions team, you would usually first check your English score in your high school leaving certificate, because these days, like English is part of curriculum in many countries. So we will check there first. If they think that it's not good enough, then maybe we would ask you to submit one of these certificate, either IELTS, TOEFL, Cambridge, or Duolingo. And yeah, and the online test as well, I would say that the online test is more like an IQ test. So it's not like a math exam, but it's to apply your logic, more tests. But we do put you under time pressure. And yeah, and if you have taken SAT, for example, if you have US high school diploma and you have taken SAT, also you can upload them. We will take that into consideration if your SAT score is high enough, like for example, minimum of 1030, you could be exempted from taking the online assessment test, and you can just go pass directly to interview. And our admissions would also always take more look not only on the English performance in school, but also the math, like the math performance in school, because of course you also have to be strong in math to study business studies, for example. Yeah, and we know that not everyone has the privilege of having all funds ready for their bachelor program. So at EBS, we also offer the EBS scholarships. So it's available for national and international students. So it doesn't matter your nationality. It is decided based on the review of the strength of your profile and, of course, your financial situation. So you will have to apply for it and have to send like supporting documents, for example, again, your CV and proof of your financial situation, for example. And the strength of profile we usually analyze, yeah, through your school performance, your performance throughout the selection process at EBS as well. And yeah, and I would always say that if you feel that you are in need of financial aid, try to apply for the EBS scholarships. You would only know if you get it if you apply. So I always try to say like just try because who knows you could be awarded an EBS scholarship. And then we also have the education fund. I think that is very specific to Germany. This type of education fund, we are in collaboration with Brain Capital. So basically, you have to have an agreement with the partner with Brain Capital about the amount of funds that you would like to have as your loan, and this agreed amount will be fully taken care of by Brain Capital, for example, throughout your study program, so you don't have to worry about this amount and can just concentrate to your study. And you will first start paying it back after you have graduated and you have landed your first full-time position. And the paying back scheme will be defined by the percentage. And this percentage is also what you agreed upon in the beginning with the partner institution. So let's say you have to pay, this is just an example, 7% or 8% of your monthly salary for maybe the next 7 years, let's say. So for 7 years, then monthly you will have to pay them back like 7% of your salary. And it could be that you get a higher salary because you are advancing really well in your career. That 7 or 8% will stay. So the exact amount will be related to your salary in each year. And then there's also like the more well-known familiar student loan, like from the banks, for example. At EBS, there's the KfW student loan. It's very well known in Germany. We also have a cooperation with the local bank, the Nassauische Sparkasse. They have like already a set model for a student loan dedicated for EBS students. And also if you feel like you're really in need, you can also try to apply for BAföG, which is like the German government program to provide like financial help to students. But for BAföG, of course, you have to be a German citizen. We also offer the Deutschlandstipendium, or what we say the German scholarship. But the German scholarship would be for students that are already enrolled. But it's quite common. A lot of universities in Germany actually collaborate with the German government in providing the German scholarships. Yeah. So if you come to EBS and you're not from the region, you will have to do a moving, find a place to stay. And we also have a dedicated page to give you the information that you need in order to have an idea of how it is to find like a student flat close to the campus. Some of our students decided to live like in Wiesbaden, for example, because they want to have more like a city atmosphere, but most of the students actually live around the campus. And I put the barcode here so everyone can just scan it, and then it would lead you to the page. There would be information there about for example, student flats around the campus. If you need short-term accommodation, maybe like Airbnb or hotels, there's a recommendation there for that. within the EBS intranet. So once you have your EBS email address, you can also go into the EBS housing portal. And there usually there would be also openings, listings of available flats rented out by private landlords. So yeah, our students are also renting out from private landlords. Yeah, it's how to say it's a really idyllic place, but student that it's nice, it's closer to the campus, so then you can always do things spontaneously and you're not missing out on too many stuff. Yeah, the budget, I think the living cost budget, based on the feedback from students, they always try to budget like 1,000 euro. Um, in the end, it could be that you spend less than that or a little bit more than that, depends on your situation and your lifestyle preference. But just to be on the safe side, like try to budget 1,000 euro per month for rent, for insurance, for groceries, some leisure time. So yeah. And yeah, conclusion. Uh, just a conclusion before I close the presentation. Yeah, so if you come to join us in EBS, this is what you can be part of, like a legacy institution that has been around since the early 70s, with international accreditation, uh, program in business taught by English speakers, passionate professors. They're really passionate about what they teach and passionate about their students. And this close-knit community, around 2,000, 2,200 students already from all programs, from different nationalities. So this community, tight-knit, familiar feeling, and then be part of the wider EBS alumni association, alumni family, and long list of partner universities where you can do your semester abroad with. And who knows, maybe you will be the next alumni that would make the Forbes 30 under 30. And yeah, and then be part of our international community. And yeah, we also offer a summer school. So we call it EBS Talent Camp. A lot of times we have potential students that are still not sure if they want to pursue business programs or the law programs. So we created this EBS Talent Camp exactly for that. So we will provide them with like projects and solve case studies, this time focusing sustainability and AI. But it would also serve as reflection time for them to decide if they prefer to go for business or for law direction, or maybe somewhere in the middle, like the law politics economics program. It will be in the beginning of July, the 1st to the 4th of July. And if you want to know more, you can scan this barcode. And we are also present in social media. I mean, our website provides all of this important, necessary information. But if you want to know more about the dailies, activities that students are doing, their projects, events in campus, you can check us as well in Instagram and YouTube, Facebook, or in LinkedIn. I think we have TikTok now as well, so they can check there as well. Because this would give you more of an idea of what it's like the day-to-day life in EBS campus, and also what the professors are up to. They always have this new project that they are working on. And yeah, if you want to order info material, then just scan this. And we will deliver it to you per email. If you go to the website, you can also book a personal consultation. So either with me or either with one of my colleagues in my team, we would always be happy to get connected with you. And yeah, and hopefully we get to see you soon in our campus in Österreich-Winkel.
Perfect. That was a wonderful presentation, Harshita. Thank you so much. So here's our final slide with contact details for EBS University for Business and Law, as well as my contact information at Global College Advisors. And while I have this slide up, I normally would follow up with a couple of questions, but Harshita covered it all. She covered all the important points, so I don't have any follow-up questions. Thank you so much for this comprehensive presentation. That was awesome. Well, this brings us therefore to the end of today's presentation. Harshita, thank you so much again for joining us today and for giving us such a clear picture of what makes EBS University for Business and Law such an interesting option for internationally minded students. As a quick reminder, our Global College Spotlight series continues each month, featuring universities from across Europe and beyond. You can revisit today's conversation and explore previous Global College Spotlights anytime on the Global College Advisors website or on our YouTube channel. With that, I look forward to welcoming you back next month, where we will continue our exploration of universities in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. Until then, thank you for watching and goodbye.